Hello everybody. Let us see chapter number 3rd, collection and representation of data. In chapter number 1 we have uh, we have seen about the introduction of all terminology that is used in biostatistics. First we uh, we have seen about the what is what is the definition of computational botany. After that we have seen about the definition of biostatistics. After that, population, what is meant by sample, and application, scope and uses of biostatistics in different fields, importance of biostatistics, all these. And after that, in chapter number 2nd, we have seen in detail sample and sampling. We have seen 5 types of random sampling. There are generally 2 types of sampling: random sampling and non-random sampling. Means after understanding the term sample, we have seen about the methods of collecting the sample. In that, we have seen 5 types of random sampling. Random sampling is also called as non-biased sampling. In that, simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic random sampling, cluster sampling, and multi-stage sampling. So these all sampling method done by randomly, but by applying certain systematic or strategies. Except simple random sampling, from second number type, stratified random sampling to multi-stage random sampling, all these of uh, all these of sampling method should require heterogeneous type of population. And when the population is homogeneous, then we can simply apply simple random sampling. And in non-random sampling, we have seen about the purposive sampling, convenience sampling, quota sampling. So we can we can draw the conclusion as we expected by the selecting non-random sampling methods. So why I am revising all that? Because now step by step we are going towards what we call the biostatistics types, or biostatistics, different methods of biostatistics. In a next chapter we are going to see central tendency. In that central tendency, mean, mode, median. So you have used that methods also in your practicals. Mean means simply average, and after that correlation, regression, and their application with their merits and demerits, standard deviation, and what is the use of all these statistical analysis for the research. So first you have to understand why should we do all these statistical analysis. Because whatever data we have collected, whatever observation we have noted, whatever information we have gathered, we have to draw certain conclusion from that. And this is possible when we applied certain statistical analysis or statistical tools to our data, and only after that we can draw some fruitful conclusion, and then some and uh, on that conclusion our future strategies depend. For example, uh, in a country, after the census, they have concluded that, for example, the recent example, in the period of COVID-19, uh, those countries are Italy. I think it suffered a lot uh, because the the maximum population in that, because their health services are on number two. Um, so because of that, the the population, or the overall population of senior citizen, is maximum in that country. Because of this, the rate of death, because their immune system, senior citizens immune system is probably less than the youngsters, so they have suffered this lot. So uh, these the my purpose behind this is that uh, after census we can draw this conclusion. So India is now rich population, we, as the in case of population we are on number two, and in case of total number of youngsters, um, in a population, the number of youngster is larger than any country in India. So how we understand this? After census we have applied certain statistics, and after that we 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 should, after that we could know uh, about the nature of population. So for that, what we have to do? First, we have to collect the data. The government representatives, those who have selected for for the census, they goes house to house. They ask how many infant, yeah, how many kids in your home, how many age old person, how many youngsters, and what is the total number of total number of individuals in your home, like this. After this data collection, remaining conclusions would be drawn. So this, after the data collection means simply sampling. By sampling method, data would be collected, and after that we have to represent the data. We can mean, so for example, suppose I have asked you how many students are present on the ground. Then what happened? You went there, you counted the number of students, and you came and you told me that the number of students on that ground are 25. Okay, so now you have collected the data. The total number of students on the ground is 25. And after that, I have asked you what are they doing on that ground. So after that, you started telling me some information. Among those, some among those 10 are boys and 15 are girls, and they are discussing about their upcoming tournament, like this. So some information with the number of students on that ground, I have got some information, like what are they doing and all that. So after that, I have again asked, so all the students are discussing about the same tournament. So no, you said no. They are, some are discussing about the some are discussing about the basketball championship, and some are discussing about the volleyball championship. So like this, the data is separated. So have so how could I represent, or how could I show these data? So I can show this type of data in tabulated form also. total number of students. After that 10 boys. So first column is of are you getting? First column is of boys, 10, girls 15. Purpose of discussion, upcoming tournaments. Then again the two division of basketball and volleyball, like this. So by making a table, I can represent this data. So this type of representation is called as tabulated representation of data. But it is somewhat difficult. Means we have to read that data, then we have to interpret, and then after that it is me also like this. So for I'm explaining you a lot. Means my timing is also means there is a the time required to explain the details about the tabulated data is more than the graphically represented data. So now you are getting what I'm going to say. Here we are going to see the classification of data and data representing. Whatever data we have collected, we can show that calculated or counted data by making a table form or by making a graphical representation like bar diagram, charts, we can say that pie charts, histogram, line diagram, frequency polygon. So we are going to see all these graphical representation of data as well as the data which we can explain by tabulated form. Okay, without wasting time, let us see about the classification of data. Meaning and need of classification. First, we have to understand what is the meaning and need of classification. Classification is the process of arranging the data into sequences and groups according to their common characteristic, or separating them into different but related parts. As I will explain in this about the 21 students present on the ground. Number one, it is useful for anyone developing statistical surveys. Makes easy to categorize data. It is helpful for understanding. Meaning of classification. The collected data, also known as raw data or unorganized data, are always in an unorganized form and need to be organized and presented in meaningful and readily comprehensible form in order to facilitate further statistical analysis. So the what we call that incomplete information is not useful to draw the correct conclusion. So for that we have to classify, categorized whatever information we have collected. Just all that, for example, all that information you have taken about that 25 students. So just I noted that information theoretically, so no one could easily understand it, and it's difficult to understand also, and total wastage of time also, and to draw a certain conclusion is somewhat difficult, or in some cases it is impossible also. So for that, to make us others understand about that data, so I have to categorize that data. Means data, only the data collection is not sufficient. You have to classify, categorize that data according to their nature. It is therefore essential for an investigator to condense a mass of data into more and more comprehensible and assimilate form. The process of grouping into different classes or subclasses according to same characteristic is known as classification.